Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Low Nose. Now, today we've got a microphone comparison. The hugely popular, the Rode NT1A versus the big name, big microphone, the Neumann TLM49. $230 versus $1,700. Who's paying for this? Okay, sorry about that, but seriously, who's buying this stuff? Guilty. Okay, so the Rode NT1A, hugely popular microphone. You'll find this in a lot of music studios, offices, starter-ups. It's used from casual to professional settings, and it's a very, very good microphone, especially for the value. $239. It comes with a big diaphragm microphone. It's cardioid meaning that the sound pattern that it picks up is a heart shape. Okay, there you go. There goes your lesson. And then it comes with a shock mount. It does have a pop filter, but I don't have the pop filter connected to it right now because I actually want to display the microphone. Yeah, so it comes with a shock filter, solid design. They advertise low noise, of course. Every microphone is going to advertise low noise. What microphone is going to be like, we're the noisiest microphone ever? That's never going to happen. Okay, and yeah, and like I said, hugely popular in music environments. Then we have the Neumann TLM49. This is deemed as a vocals mic. Cardioid pattern, condenser microphone as well. It has a huge capsule. You know, when you browse online for this microphone, it says that it offers a huge what is that thing called? Capsule inside the microphone. And when I look between the two, they look exactly the same to me. They both look like they're the same size. They both got the little gold thing in the middle and white on the top. I'll be damned. They might be the same thing inside. Whatever. Let's move along. Okay, so $1,700 gets you the microphone and a shock mount. That's it. No pop filter. So right now, as far as value is concerned, the Rode NT1A is kind of winning out. Now let's talk briefly about the law of diminishing returns. $230 versus $1,700. Is there going to be a $1,500 difference between these two? I mean, are we going to hear a $1,500 difference? $230, $1,700. I mean, are we going to hear a huge difference? You know, you will probably hear a difference between maybe a $50 microphone versus a $230 microphone. But, you know, they're probably from $230 to $500 to $1,000. I think all the microphones are going to sound the same. You might get a better tolerance as far as the overload is concerned. If I were to just scream if I were to scream into the microphones, I'm pretty sure the higher quality microphones would be able to handle that load better without distorting right off the bat. But, you know, then that just goes to mic safety. If you're going to scream, then just turn down your recorder and take a step back, you know. But still, you know, sometimes you just want something pretty in the stooth and you want a name in the studio in front of the talent and you want them to go, oh, wow, is that a whatchamacallit? Guilty as charged. All right, so before we start, as always, when doing these recordings, these microphones are not being connected to any kind of preamp. They're being connected to this my Zoom H6 handy recorder. They're both on 5 and the levels right now they're peaking probably around 18. Believe it or not, this is the second time I'm doing this video. I did this video before and I had the levels peaking at 12 and I'm not sure what it was, but the microphones were just way too hot. So I'm doing this again. I brought it down. So the Zoom H6, fucking badass recorder, man. This dude is freaking awesome. I can connect 4 more mic. Okay, it's not about the recorder. Okay. All right, so let's do some examples. I'm gonna put it through a couple of vocal tests, and then we'll go ahead and we'll bring it into our video editing software, and we'll make the comparison again. All right, so let's do something to start off with. First, let's just do something just regular talking. What did to do today at a minute or 2 to 2? A thing distinctly hard to say, but harder still to do. For they'll beat a tattoo at 20 to 2. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. And the dragon will come when he hears the drum. At a minute or 2 to 2 today. At a minute or 2 to 2. What did to do today at a minute or 2 to 2? A thing distinctly hard to say, but harder still to do. For they'll beat a tattoo at 20 to 2. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. And the dragon will come when he hears the drum. At a minute or 2 to 2 today. At a minute or 2 to 2. All right. So that was probably, let's just say that was probably on the higher side. Nothing too low for these microphones. Now let's do something a little lower, maybe something a little more dramatic. All right. From the hike of the ball to the crack of the pads, football is a game of inches, where one man proves his worth by asserting his dominance over others, where victory is enjoyed with pain, and defeat dines with humiliation. Only few can play the game, even fewer are meant for it. From the hike of the ball to the crack of the pads, football is a game of inches, where one man proves his worth by asserting his dominance over others, where victory is enjoyed with pain, and defeat dines with humiliation. Only few can play the game, even fewer are meant for it. Okay, all right, so let's finish with one more test. Let's do the radio imaging test. You're listening to the #1 radio station in the country, WABC 102.3. You're listening to the #1 radio station in the country, WABC 102.3. Okay, and you know what? For shits and giggles, let's just do one more test. Since these are vocal microphones, I'm going to go ahead and I'll sing something for you. Hell no, I'm not going to sing. All right, let's put this straight into our editing software and let's do the comparison. I'll give you some thoughts. All right, so to start off, I wanted to let you know this in the beginning of the video, but where we are right now, you know, we are in my office, and my office does have some kind of room treatment, some kind of foam on the walls to kind of minimize reflection of the voice hitting the walls and coming back to the microphone. This is not by any means a professional vocal booth where it's just completely soundproof from my voice getting out or other elements coming in. So these are some real world, real situation dynamics happening right now. In case you are working in your bedroom or your office, you know, where you might have some kind of reflections going on, this will give us a good example of what these mics can do. Also, my computer is completely turned off as the time of the recording. It was just the camera, the Zoom recorder, and you and I. That was it. No additional computer where you might pick up some kind of hum or anything. What we got was just sound, microphone sound. Okay, so let's get started. What I have right here, the top track right here, the top track, this is the Neumann TLM49. And the bottom track is our Rode NT1A. Now, I haven't done any kind of normalizing to the audio. I just want to leave it as is, straight, pure. I don't want to affect anything yet. I previewed before, and there is no reason to normalize the audio. The audio is just loud enough for us to work with it right now. Okay, so before we start, let me give you a sense. This is the audio from the actual camera. What did you do today at a minute or two to two? A thing distinctly horrible. Yes. Okay, so we just use it as a reference just to line up our audio. Okay, so let's take a listen on the Neumann TLM49. What did you do today at a minute or two to two? A thing distinctly hard to say, but harder still to do. For a little beat. Okay, so it sounds good, sounds clear. Actually, this is more of a, on a side note, this is more of a testament to the actual Zoom H1. I normally have the TLM connected to my Aphex 230. And I think that's it's introducing a whole bunch of noise to that microphone. It kind of turned me off on the microphone. But okay, the Zoom, it's just showing me what the microphone can do, and I kind of like the sound of this microphone. Okay, so the TLM49, it does. What did you do today at a minute or two to two? It has a nice full, warm, round sound just to start with. What did you do today at a minute or two to two? You can hear when I go to die today and that low end comes in, it just kind of holds and warms. What did you do today at a minute or two to two? Holds that low in it. Really nice. Okay, so the Rode. What did you do today at a minute or two to two? There's a huge difference. The Rode is super on the high end, where the Neumann kind of does a good job of just kind of honing in those signals of the low end as far as the lower registry. The Neumann is just all highs. What did you do today at a minute or two to two? Now, to be fair, if we look at the video, what did you do today? I am closer to the Neumann, so maybe that's the reason why it's picking up those lows. What did you do today at a minute or two to two? A thing distinctly hard. But it's still you can't deny that the Neumann is a bit of a warmer, lower mic. And the Rode NT1A, it's definitely hanging somewhere. It's definitely hanging up somewhere in the higher frequency range as far as handling vocals. All right, so let's go to the next one. From the hike of the ball. All right, so this example is the lower end read. Let's see how the mic. From the hike of the ball to the crack of the pads, football is a game of inches. All right. So if you can see in the video, from the hike of the ball, I've gotten a lot closer to the microphone. So let's see how the Rode handles it. From the hike of the ball to the crack of the pads. Football is a game of All right, so the Rode, it's still a good sounding mic, but you can definitely hear the high end artifacting where it's a little high, but it gets a little grainy, it's just a little crunchy, a little, you know, there's like a little grainy high characteristic to the Neumann. From the hike of the ball to the crack of the pads. And back to Rode. From the hike of the ball to the crack of the pads. Okay, all right, you know, they both sound good. I could see why maybe the Neumann is good for very popular for voiceovers. Is it popular for voiceovers? I don't know. I mean, I got it because I thought it was, but you know, let's just say the Neumann. It's really good. It sounds like it's doing a good job of holding onto those lower ends. The Rode doesn't sound bad at all. It's in the high end. That'll be a really good I guess default. If you have anything, if your vocals need to cut through some kind of music, by default it will cut through music in the background because your voices are falling on a higher end on the frequency. As far as anything else. Okay, so let's go to the exact last example. You're listening to the. Oh, let me go to the Neumann first. You're listening to the #1 radio station in the country, WABC 102.3. It's a Neumann, okay. You're listening to the #1 radio station in the country. All right, so for this read, I went a little in a higher end registry of my delivery. The Neumann did keep some kind of low ends, but it's almost like because I took out the lower end of my voice, it went straight to almost like an NT1 level. But the Rode NT1 still sounds a little dirty. You know, not in a bad way. Oh, you dirty little mic. You're listening to the #1 radio station in the country, WABC 102.3. The Rode doesn't sound bad, but you can definitely hear the difference. One of us a lower end, full, rich sounding mic. Maybe it's because of the large diaphragm capsule that they advertise, even though they both look the same to me, looking through. And the Rode NT1 still sounds good. Now, is it let's get to the bottom line here. Here's the $1 million question. Is it a $1,500 difference? Is that low end sound what you want? Do you want to spend that extra $1,500 for that low end sound? I don't know. I doubt it. You know, I don't know if it's a $1,500 difference. You know, maybe if it was like maybe a $700 mic. Maybe that would influence me to like, you know what, I kind of like the lower full warm sounding. I think I'll spend the extra money to get that. But if it's $1,500 more, I don't know. I'm not sold. Unless you just want it to look pretty in your studio. If you want it to be like a showstopper when someone's coming in, maybe that's a good reason more than any to get it. But as far as just being impressed with the sound, it's like, yeah, that's a good sounding sound. Do I need it? Meh, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. And all of the projects that I do here, for the channel or for my professional voiceovers, I rarely use the TLM. And maybe that could be the fault of the compressor that I have it connected to, and not the recorder. Maybe I'll do for a while. I'll just have it connected to the recorder and just send that out. Actually, I got 2 auditions I have to do today. I think I'm gonna do all of them on the Neumann with the Zoom H1. See what happens, and I'll give you an update on how that went as well. But yeah, guys, let me know. What do you think about the differences? Do you think the Neumann's worth it, or the NTG1? I mean, the NT1A. I know the NT1A is a hugely popular microphone. If you got a good, strong mic technique, that microphone's going to do anyway. I've done several podcasts and drama cinemas with the NT1, and that microphone has impressed me and it's come through in spades. But the TLM. It's like we said before, rounder, warmer. Is it worth $1,500 difference? Who knows? Maybe not. Who's got money for all of that? Not me. All right. Well, guys, if you found this video helpful, go ahead. Please leave a like. If you want to see more videos just like this, go ahead and subscribe. And follow me on, follow Low Nose, the sort of community, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Once again, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Until next time, guys, I will see you in the next video. Go ahead, check out the channel for some other videos as well. Bye, guys. Take care.